Hey, I'm Super Fizz. It is January 30th, 2023. I'm here with my buddy Jason.
Hi, I'm Jason. I'm a new kid on the blockchain, and Superfizz has been showing me the ins and outs.
And so I'm really excited. This is like wait, did we say this is number 7 or 8?
This is number 8.
Like, I'm really impressed that you are soaking this up so quickly because, like, I acknowledge you're starting from zero and you're like just soaking it up really quickly. It's a lot of fun for me to watch that happen.
Well, it is daunting, exciting, and a little bit on the scary side, but I have enjoyed learning more, and the more I learn, the more exciting it gets. We had talked a little bit about going over some of the comments. I haven't even checked to see if there's anything to mention or give a shout out to, but if we wanted to dig
Yeah,
into
that's
that,
actually a great idea. Let me
okay,
see if I can get us onto a private, and then let me share that screen. Okay. And then let me find our YouTube channel. All right. Hey, so tomorrow we have a, that's scale 3, but tomorrow it should be under live. We have a call coming up to talk about withdrawals. That's the Shanghai hard fork that's happening in March or April.
Okay.
So I'm kind of excited about that. I'm sort of just telling everyone now, this may not even, oh, we could publish this like tomorrow morning, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So then people, if anybody sees this early in the day, then at noon Central Time tomorrow, this is going to go live. But it's kind of like a low barrier introduction to the withdrawals. So we should be able to see comments.
Oh, we've got a POAP farmer.
Of course, that's great. And yeah, we'll get there to POAPs at some point. You're out there as Hank. Hank is not my actual first name, but you'll be all right. And that's a bull video for junk. Netflix, Amazon, and Microsoft. So this is likely just a troll, or I don't know. It's not often that people are trolling for traditional stocks. Usually people who are trolling in comments are trolling like really junky coin market assets, like just junk. But it's actually amusing to me to see them trolling traditional assets. Kind of how I interpret this is we are so terrible that people would rather invest in traditional stocks. But maybe there's another interpretation to it. Let's see.
Well, I'm interested in figuring out how to, and I guess we're not going to look at that now, maybe later, but I definitely would like to figure out how to attach that POAP idea to the end of the coursework and figure out how to make people eligible, allow them to be eligible to get that for, I guess, we talked about a very reasonable low price to be able to add that to their collection.
Have you seen Superfizz does, I don't know which one of these it is. Superfizz demonstrates POAP checkout and sharing POAP.
Oh, so perfect.
Either of these two, if you search for Superfizz POAP, these two videos, they're a little bit different, but different from each other. So I'm going to tell the difference in them. Superfizz demonstrates POAP checkout and sharing POAP value using disperse.app. That is something that's very important to me. That is a way, let's say that you use POAP checkout and you sell 100 POAPs for $1. Sometimes I like to give back to those people. It's kind of, I like to think of it as a reverse scam. I am in many ways a reverse scammer. And so what I'll do is then send those people back like $3 or $5 worth of ether. And so what you can do is use the POAP gallery to export all of those addresses, and then use a tool called Disperse app to send value back to them. The other one that will interest you is Superfizz demonstrates the creation of a POAP using POAPathon and the Magic QR dispenser. This walks you through the POAP setup, but not POAP checkout. So really what I'd suggest is kind of watching these two. That's 27 minutes of content if you watch them at half speed.
Okay.
I'm sorry, at double speed, you're burning 15 minutes. And it will give you like kind of an overview of how a lot of that will work. And at least then we'll have like a common vocabulary to talk about how to add these to your projects.
Okay, that sounds perfect. And yeah,
I probably, okay. You take criticism well. I am not a good criticizer. At least I don't think that I am. But people will often participate in something because of the beauty of the POAP image.
okay.
So that is one of the reasons I try to find beautiful POAP images,
Okay.
because a lot of what you'll find is people are like, I just want that image. Like I want to hold that. And so your design was a great attempt. It was a good first start, but I would encourage like a super high quality image. And I'm scrolling through these. I'm not seeing anything that blows me away. Obviously, no offense to the people creating. I do like some of these, like this general theme. But let me see two of my favorite ones. They're on Get POAP, I know that. And so my favorites gallery has some of my favorite designs. I really love this Beacon Chain Genesis Depositor POAP. That may be my favorite design. I also love the Token Cell Participant design, the Serenity Launch design. Those are probably, part of it is the event behind them. I acknowledge that, but part of them is also just really good art to me. And that's going to be different for every person. But well, you know, honestly, this Seed Series Investor POAP, like it's just a really kind of I don't know, pleasing design. That's kind of the goal. So with it, when people go and they're like, you know, they're going to get a POAP, they're like, do I want to, I know I did the work, but do I want that in my wallet? Like, let me find the Dr. Doofus POAP. My God, I may not even have it. Okay, I'm going to try to find this POAP. It's derailing, but Dr. Doofus is one of my bros. Hope I can. Yes. This is the Dr. Doofus POAP for those when Dr. Doofus was forbidden from ever doing art again. We call this the giant penis POAP. But so I guess the big picture is you can get a lot by in POAP art, but what you really want is to share art that people want to have in their wallet.
Okay. Well, it gives me something to brainstorm and play around with, and this seems.
Well, so I have to tell you, this might look amateurish, but this is a pinnacle achievement. I don't. Some people think that he probably could have done this in 30 seconds, but I know that this type of achievement doesn't come quickly. He spent years honing and developing skills that allow him to do something this complex and make it look childlike.
Right, much like Picasso's Cubism movement.
Yeah. Like you can't get there overnight. It is a rich talent that takes extraordinary effort to develop.
You have to master the craft before you create the anti-craft, I believe.
Absolutely, yeah.
Some people have
if you could get your POAP designs to this, I mean, and I know this is an unattainable level for most people, but if you could begin to aim in this direction, then I feel like there's people will want to hold your POAPs.
Well, I'm always up for having my POAP held. You said that people use Procreate for the designing procedure?
I am not a designer.
Okay,
So I hear words and I try to repeat them.
right.
Like I recognize value. Like I see this Dr. Doofus app, POAP. Like I recognize value, but I'm not a designer. So I really do suggest talking with those people that I mentioned, Michael and Logic Beach, or Vetica and Logic Beach, especially go to the POAPathon Discord. POAPathon Discord are like, it's an artist hangout. And so
Okay.
they would be excited to talk to you about best practice. That's like their sweet spot.
Okay. That sounds good. Something to explore there. I just wonder, and I don't want to use. I mean, the Procreate software is pixelated art, and I just wonder if it has to be vector art. That is usually used for the POAP design. So I guess that's a question for that forum.
Yeah, and as a non-artist, I don't believe we're looking for scalable vector graphics. I think we're just looking for like flat PNGs.
Okay.
So
That's
again,
cool.
not an artist, but this doesn't, like, you can only upload flat images, not SVGs. So but again, it's very easy for me to like put words together I've heard and try to make sense, but I really don't know it.
Gotcha. I'll ask and see if I can get confirmation, but that's encouraging if that's the case, because I don't have a lot of experience with vector art, mostly pixelated stuff.
I had a big idea that I wanted to drop on you, but I don't. Did you have a layout for today, or are we just riffing?
Well, in terms of what I've been working on, I took a lot of your advice into that five fundamentals presentation and got that a little bit tighter, and that's going well. And then we talked over, I guess, the weekend about narration and Q&A on some scholarly articles or some current events topics. So I've sort of been looking at that article that was shared about the role of cooperatives. I guess there was a presentation on the EV Mavericks. There was a chat about it on Friday.
Yeah. Let me give a big picture. So people who, a few months ago, Nick Swarakish and I, when Vitalik et al. Released the Soulbound Tokens paper, which is like 40 pages of really dense text. We really wanted to find a way to make that more accessible. And so we read it. I don't think we ever published that because I may have dropped the ball on it, but we did read it. And Nix can help me refresh like where we're at on that. I may be supposed to be doing something. But we have this idea that one of the ways as educators that we can improve access to content is to essentially read these papers. And I will even say Jasper from Rocket Pool wrote a 40-page paper about the difference between Rocket Pool and another LSD. And the only way that I consumed that was by exercise. Actually, I didn't do that with exercise. I did it by reading and listening. So that multimodal kind of thing is what allowed me to engage with text that otherwise, like, I just wouldn't have done. I would not have sat down and read the 40-page text. So that is one of the things that we'd like to do, either as eStaker or just as people, is improve access to text by reading it. I really see you fitting into that in two ways. In the first way, through your instructional content. In the second way, and you haven't picked up on this yet, you're more than a content creator. You're a personality. You're a real person. And so we want people to connect with Jason, not just your content.
Gotcha.
When people connect with you, they're going to look for your content. When
Right.
people see Superfizz, they're like, oh shit, I'm not looking at that trash. But at least people recognize, like, that's a brand they recognize. And so
Right.
that's kind of what we want to do for you. We want like you to have this standard of quality that people know. Like if you put a POAP out, people know it's going to be Dr. Doofus quality. If you do like if you read something, people are going to know, oh wow, I've listened to 5 things that he read and he's so articulate. I really resonate with what he reads. That's what we want to build with you, not just nameless content. It needs to be quality Jason branded content
Attached to a person. Well,
Yep.
that sounds great. I'm here for it. I sent your friend. You said his name was Nick. I couldn't remember.
Nix.
Nick's. Okay. I sent him something to sort of peruse. But yeah, if we could talk about figuring out exactly what he has in mind and creating something on the mark, I'm happy to do it. And yeah. As far as the personality, I'm terribly nervous about this whole thing, just being a novitiate to it, and that most of this just technology and Zoom meetings even, and just knowing everything is recorded for the record. I got a ways to go with getting to a comfort level where being genuine and authentic is comes second nature.
Yeah, you're self-aware. Being self-aware lends itself to imposter syndrome, that feeling of,
oh yeah, there's a lot of that going on.
How can I teach people when I don't know things myself? There's no cure for that except
experience. Yeah. Yep. I believe it.
At some point, you're going to begin to hear things and you're like, oh, of course I understand that.
It's already starting a little bit. It's getting slowly.
Yeah, and this ocean is 10,000 feet deep, and so I can go 200 feet deep in the ocean, and I'm comfortable in that depth. But I also recognize, like, it's not a far stretch for me to get into a conversation where I don't understand everything. But having been in this depth for so long, I'm okay saying that's not something I'm comfortable with. I don't understand it. And you eventually get okay not having all the answers.
Gotcha. Well, gosh, what were we going at with that? But yeah, I'll work on it, and I guess the more projects, and we seem to have a pretty healthy diet of suggestions of things to work on, and the more stuff I work on, the more comfortable I can get with information like that.
Yeah, I wanted to lead you in another direction also. So I feel like the Nick's reading direction is very strong. You're looking for a subject matter expert for content that you can develop stuff with, but I don't want you to be reliant on any subject matter expert. And I realize we have some really rich resources. So I'm going to take you to this page real quick. So this is Ethereum.org. And
okay.
If you had asked me about this page like 3 years ago, I would have just giggled because it was not well developed. Okay. Ethereum.org has since become a powerhouse of incredible information. Okay. And so
yeah.
The issue is, though, it's all currently in text form. Like I can go find what I'm looking for. Let's learn about staking. Let me see if I can find something about staking. I'm just going to search for staking. Pool staking, staking as service, how to stake your ETH. That looks interesting to me. And so I can read these pages and learn more about staking. But what we know, many people, especially when you're new, you have difficulty wading through this material on your own, even if it's quality. And so what helps is to have a guide and an incentive. And so if you chose a page like this and said, I can break this page down into what is staking, why stake, how to stake, comparison, Like there are 4 modules that people can complete in 2 minutes each, and they've consumed this page, and that's like the ultimate goal.
Oh, okay.
So
would this be, well, I'm just trying to figure out how people would access the information, or would it be tethered to or linked from this page somehow, or how I would be able to, I'm just trying to figure out the logistics of making it available to people.
Yeah, it begins with you kind of sharing it publicly. It begins with you, or even me.
Yeah.
So you create an intro video and post it on familiar assets like ETH Staker, YouTube. You go to ETH Finance, or you go to a Reddit and you say, hey, I'm working on this content. Do you want to check it out? As it reaches critical mass, as people embrace it and you get really good at it, then you have the opportunity to submit it to ethereum.org for inclusion there. Ethereum.org is our highest level of professionalism, and for you to have your stuff linked from there, you should probably buckle in for a lot of vetting. But it is technically open source. Anyone who meets that standard can be onboarded. But again, it is actually a high standard, and that standard is like quality of production, quality of information, stuff like that.
Yeah, there's a long way to go. I get you. And
I want to clarify about Ethereum.org. Anyone can go and submit a pull request. If you go and you're like, hey, I know more about this than is published, you can add and improve it. That bar is not very high, as long as that is good information. Where the bar gets higher is where you're saying, I'm a third-party contributor and I want you to link to what I'm doing. That is kind of like, that's a big risk. And that's something that takes a lot of vetting.
Gotcha. Well, I have just a couple of weeks with the software, and only about 3 or 4 weeks in with this content. So I understand that there's a road to go down and a path to go down.
But you don't have to know everything. If you're doing beginner content, Jason, there are 8 billion people who don't know that beginner content yet. Just like a teacher, I'm sure you've taught classes where like you just need to stay one day ahead of the student. Like you're a French teacher and they throw you into math and you're like,
right.
What?
I've had,
and so you just have to stay one day ahead. And as long as your delivery meets that need, you don't have to know everything. That's not your role. Your role is to just deliver the content that you're trying to deliver.
Okay. Well, I'll try to wrap up that content on cooperatives that your friend was talking about, and then I can take a look maybe at these 4 bullet points and these 4 mini lessons. I just started some new software today, and I think a small 5 or 6 slide thing, which, if I'm guessing, that may be the scale of one of these 4, and maybe that's a good piece of material to chew on and try to digest and process. Another issue, and you bring it up, is people do get intimidated and daunted by lots of text, and you try to figure out what is the visual complement that has value, that, I don't know, is worth 1,000 words and can hopefully summarize and assuage the anxieties people might have. I was looking into some of this. I can't remember what. It was an AI site where you can plug in
ChatGPT.
It wasn't ChatGPT. It was another one this morning, but it generates images based on a prompt.
Yeah.
One of those, and I was trying to come up with some visually stimulating content talking about the token system, and the maiden run, it did not turn out super exciting. I'll see if I can share with you at some point the the image that
You,
it generated.
is there something family friendly you're able to share now? I'm a little curious, and we can include the people
Well,
who are watching.
I don't know where it was stored. Let me see if I can find it on my history. Let's see. And here we go. Yeah, we can share my screen. It doesn't say what. Okay, yeah. All right. So the text. Let's see. Do I need to share my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So share screen. And here we go. So the prompt was the cooperative organization model is a viable option for modern digital organizations. Members receive voting rights and partial ownership. Is that the whole thing? I have a feeling that there was more of a prompt, but this is the shape that it it gave me
Yeah.
with that
Very
particular
abstract,
prompt. Yeah.
difficult to relate to co-ops.
Yes. I
Um,
was just curious as to what it would do with an abstract prompt like
but
that.
I so obviously you can retry and inform that prompt, but this is better than nothing, a boring image or blank. I agree that it does not convey the concept of co-ops. Co-ops.
Co-ops. Gotcha.
But I love the idea of pushing in that direction because I think you'll eventually kind of stumble on content that, or at least develop the ability to develop content that's.
Yeah, this was Night Cafe. It only gave me 3 free images. I found another one I think called Dolly 2, DALLE
Yeah,
2,
that's the most common one.
and it's given me 50 tries. So
Yeah,
I may mess around with that a little bit in the future. But I definitely see what you're talking about of a need for visual content. You know, make it a little bit more sexy and a little bit more digestible,
yeah.
and not just the less it looks like a legal terms of service that you have to read and agree to. I think the better. So
Well,
yeah,
imagery adds so much context. I would love to get you one of those subscriptions. But even better if you develop content that earns you the subscription.
right.
That kind of brings me back to you've started this module, you
Hmm.
have, or well, this unit, I guess, and you have a series of modules in it. You have a POAP design. Let's package that one up and get it ready to deploy. We'll mint 100 POAPs on it. We'll put $2 on them. We'll share it widely, and we'll try to leverage that into getting a useful subscription service,
Okay.
whether it's Dolly or whether it's like just kind of returning that investment back into the work.
I like that idea. I like the direction of it, and it seems very constructive. And the 5 fundamentals of Ethereum lesson is I went back and made the initial revision. I think it needs maybe one more pass. I still have to clean up that chapter on DAOs that we talked about so much, but otherwise we're getting very close to the end. So yeah, we could, I think, conceivably by the end of the week have everything packaged up.
So today's Monday. Yeah. That's great. If you're ready to roll with it on Friday, and I'm happy to spend Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday in chats to get you closer to it.
Okay. I can do, well, maybe I'm going to Nashville on Thursday to shadow an instructional designer, a person who creates e-learning content. So I'm gonna be tied up with that a little bit on Thursday afternoon, but otherwise I should be free. And I'll have my laptop with me where we can look over stuff, and it shouldn't be too much of an inconvenience. Let me turn my timer off.
Yeah, sure,
Hold on a
sure.
second. Sorry, my polenta's done.
Yes, I know what that is.
It's like Italian grits.
Sounds exciting. Um, Okay, where are we at? What's our big picture?
Setting the goal of having that module packaged up, ready to go. I guess that means revision for me tonight. I need to figure out how to. I mean, I have a site, but I haven't hosted any modules yet on it, so I need to figure out how I'm going to host the content and to make it accessible. And then we got to figure out a sexy POAP, doofus level, or dare we say, above. And
I don't. We should be realistic. Like, let's aim for things that are within grasp.
Okay, all right. I try to consider myself a realist. Sorry. But yeah, so we got to figure out how to attach that to the module, and I guess Friday have that as a goal to where it can be rolled out and shared, and maybe Wednesday or Thursday have a couple of other folks do just like a test run in exchange for a free POAP.
Yeah. If we backwards plan, that means Friday needs to be POAP day, which you say you're not available Wednesday-ish.
Thursday afternoon, I'm going to be tied up.
Okay. So Friday POAP, Thursday you're tied up. Wednesday is deploy assets to the web.
Okay.
So by Tuesday, you'll need to have the content polished up.
Okay.
So Tuesday, finish content. Wednesday, publish to assets, publish to a repository or whatever. And then Friday, we'll do the POAP together.
All right. That sounds very reasonable.
When I say we'll do the POAP, I can't offer artistic suggestions. Like you'll want to spend this week getting that design locked up, but then I can help you set it up and be ready.
One more share. Let's see. This is a slight revision on what I shared with you the other night. But we talked about stamping it with the date on the bottom and then giving the name of the module or the course there at the top. But that is sort of where I'm at, I guess, with a rough design. But I can go in and import it into my illustration program and maybe get something more excited with the color scheme or the decoration. I think it's got potential.
Progress. Do you know the people at POAPathon like literally sit around and kick around ideas for design? This is a big improvement, but I also there's always room for growth. So I would still.
Oh yeah. That. Oh, I'll talk to them. I'll hop on there after this and see if there's anybody who's willing to provide some constructive feedback.
Awesome.
All right. Yeah. So, all right, we've got. I feel like this is a good stopping point, and it makes up for how maybe long the last one was. We go in 57 minutes, but yeah. Oh, and that's right. I also got to edit this tonight and have it ready to roll in the morning. But
I love what you're doing with the 8 a.m. Releases, because as I mentioned, that is super useful for anybody who is going to the gym or it wants to build it into their daily routine. So maybe our long-term target is 5 videos a week that end up getting published, Monday through Friday. And then that